Hello, I'm Joseph, and today I'm going to be doing another round of kind of developer updates. This one will probably be more technical than the last one and also have a bit more of a focus instead of just me clicking through everything and loosely explaining how everything works. So I'm going to focus on three things today. So one of them is this new dashboard redesign that we have that Synovia has been working on. And two other things are just input types. So one of them would be text, and the other one is file inputs. To start off with the dashboard stuff. So we have this logo. This is just our existing kind of like app looking logo. It's not a final logo, I guess. We're going to put something better here in the future. But here we have kind of more of a large icon for stuff, and we just have the name. And you click into it. I redid these colors. These are all me. This is not Synovia. That's why this looks noticeably worse than the last, like the main dashboard. So we have a little author stuff here, and we have a place for a description now, so someone can optionally add a description for their game. This description here is optional. This is the default text. It just says the description goes here for now. I'll probably update that to be something a little bit better. So same kind of stuff. I can create a session. I can join sessions, all that kind of thing. So yeah, the real focus of this is going to be this scroll bar here, and it's not really a scroll bar. We don't actually have support for scrolling, like proper scrolling from like a mouse wheel or a 2-finger scroll or anything like that. Really what this is doing, this is actually 3 separate game nodes. So you'll notice this outline here. This outline is not actually like a border or anything on a single game node. This is actually one large rectangular black game node in the back, and then one blue game node as a child of it, so rendered on top. So it kind of gives this illusion of an outline, even though it's actually 2 separate game nodes stacked, kind of like the layer test, if you've ever seen that. So this whole blue node here just has an on-click handler, where basically if the click is above the 50% mark, it'll go up if it can, and then go down if it's below 50%. So that's why you see the mouse hover changing when I'm over this blue thing here. So yeah, like I said, not a proper scroll. I want to tweak how this actually works, but as of right now, that's how it works. So I'm just going to click here, and you'll see it kind of moves. It moves like its own width down, and then there's kind of one game here. So when I click down here, it'll know that it would like overflow the scroll bar. So instead it just basically scrolls to the end. That's really it for the scroll bar stuff. Like I said, I want to keep updating it so it doesn't actually work like this, and it maybe would move smoother. I don't actually know. But it's kind of just moving through pages of games. So the other stuff I wanted to focus on was input types. So if you watch the first video, or if you've messed with this stuff before, you'll remember that on the bottom of this canvas, there was a little text box, and it just said text something like, "This is a hack to trigger the keyboard on mobile devices." And that was there because on a mobile device like Android or iOS, there's no way to, the keyboard isn't always there. You have to tell the browser, in this case, hey, there's input here that is of type text, and I need you to bring up the native keyboard so the user can actually put in text. So I removed that because, well, 1, it was ugly, and 2, it just didn't seem like the right way to be doing stuff. So the first thing that I have here is this text input, and you'll notice I talked about this more kind of in depth, I guess, on our most recent episode of our podcast, but basically the client knows that there's something to click here, and it knows that there's an action that it needs to do, which is bring up a text prompt. So when I click this, the browser just says, okay, what's the text? And I say something here. And the game server is just taking this input as a whole, and then, in this case, putting the text into this one node, just as a simple little test, I guess. So I can change it and whatever, all that stuff. So yeah, super basic, but it's just a way to say this thing requires text. And on a mobile device, the prompt kind of works the same way, and it brings up a keyboard, and you don't have to, bring focus to a text box that isn't actually in the canvas, and kind of not be able to see what you're actually typing and all that kind of stuff. So that's just kind of one update. So the next thing that we have is this file input, and this one's a bit trickier. So this, in the text, there's this native browser method, which is just prompt to bring up this text box. Whereas here, there's actually a hidden file input element somewhere on this HTML page. It's below this, which on this particular browser on desktop, when I click this, it'll basically trigger that input. It'll do like a dot click on the input to kind of mock if a user were clicking it. On iOS, this doesn't work. I'm pretty sure it's because of a security feature where it basically won't allow you to invoke the file input stuff from anything outside of like an actual like DOM element that has, you know, an on-click whatever. This is kind of some other weird thing of this just calls a JavaScript function, which then calls .click, which doesn't work on iOS. So that's my guess, at least. So to fix it on iOS, I was thinking I would put like an invisible DOM element somewhere here. Well, actually, just exactly matching the dimensions of this canvas element that we're painting. So that way, it would actually be invoked properly through the DOM instead of just calling some random JavaScript function, which is what it's doing now. So yeah. Anyway, it doesn't work on iOS, but currently it's just able to work on browsers and maybe Android. I haven't tested. But just to kind of test this, I'm going to upload this image of Yazid, and it's stretched out because I hard-coded the image size here, so it doesn't match the actual source image in this case. But yeah, just a super simple test. Another example, I guess, of file input is in the quarantine questions game, where you can upload a .json file for your kind of custom questions. But yeah, that's really it. I mean, I just kind of wanted to give a quick, short update on the new stuff that we've been working on and how it generally kind of works. Not going super technical in this. I guess I don't know how technical I should be in these videos. Like, if people are interested in, you know, like a 20-minute video of how we get this stuff rendered in a canvas. Also, I never mentioned it, I think, but this is all in a canvas. It's kind of why these things are tricky. It's not just like it's not just in the DOM or anything like that to use native HTML stuff. It's stuff like implementing scrolling, for example, is a feature. So, yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Hope this was interesting or something. If it wasn't, or if it was, give us feedback. We're on Twitter, all that kind of stuff, YouTube comments. But yeah, check us out, homegames.io. Thank you.